everyone. Hope this angle's okay. Let me move you guys a little more up. 60. Okay. Hi. Hello. Sorry. Hi. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Cozy Cardigans podcast. My name is Melanie. You can call me Mel. And you can find me on Instagram, Ravelry as Cozy Cardigans, and also I'm the owner and dyer for Big Little Yarn Co., which is a hand-dyed yarn shop, and you can find that on Instagram. And also have a website. It's called Big Little Yarn Co. And I live in Hyogo in Japan. Recently moved here, not recently, kind of recently moved here in January with my husband Tim, and yeah, I'm back. I decided that I want to try to post at least once a month, just cause before that 2-month stretch was a bit much, like, my podcast episodes always end up going over an hour. So I was thinking maybe I should try to, post more frequently so you guys aren't stuck watching me for an hour. But so I'm doing that now. But I think this episode's going to be pretty chunky too. I did a lot. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff to share with you. First off, I'm doing something a little new. This first bit is going to be about my next shop update, which is going to be on August 8th at 10 a.m. Japan Standard Time, which is the equivalent of August 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on August 7th. So if you're in the US or if you live in Europe or somewhere else, just do a little Google. So it'll be August 8th, 10 a.m. Japan Standard Time. So anyway, so this first bit's going to be me showing you what's going to be in there. So if you're not interested in any of this, you can skip forward. But I do have some pretty yarn to show you, so I mean, maybe you'll stick around. So this update, I usually choose a little theme when I create my colorways just because it helps things like be a little more cohesive, gives me an idea of what to, an idea of like a central idea so that when I create colorways I kind of hone in on that idea, if that makes sense. So to me that makes me feel free, but also at the same time it gives me this kind of like idea of what I'm trying to look for within this collection. So this collection I decided to do the Matsuri collection. That's the theme. So Matsuri is a festival, but in Japan during the summer there's a lot of Natsu Matsuri, which is summer festivals that happen usually. This year, they obviously all got canceled. Oh, sorry. They obviously all got canceled because of COVID. So, unfortunately, we weren't able to go to any of those. And usually, it's like a festival where there's a bunch of food stalls and a bunch of little games and little souvenirs you can buy. The food is really good. There's usually a fireworks show. You could wear a yukata, which is like a summer kimono type of thing. And it's just like a fun thing to do in the summer. But yeah, unfortunately it got canceled. So since it got canceled, I still wanted to kind of celebrate that summeriness. Or that summer aspect of being in Japan is just like it's just quintessentially Japanese. I don't know. So I wanted to celebrate that. So this collection for this update is the Matsuri collection. So I added 3 new colorways, or 3 new variegated colorways, 2 new tonals, and then I also added some oldies in there to kind of round off the whole collection. So let me start off with the variegated colorways. So this is an old colorway, but this is Matsuri. So I made this quite a long while ago. This is one of the first colorways that I created, and I wanted to include like the idea of a nighttime festival. There's a lot of red lantern kind of stuff going on. It's very bright during a summer night kind of feeling, like it's a hot summer evening. So this is Matsuri. So that will be in the update, obviously. And then the 3 new colorways. So the first one is this. This is Kingyo Sukui. See if I can. Kingyo Sukui. Kingyo means goldfish in Japanese, and sukui means scooping, or like, yeah, scooping. So it's a game. When you go to a Japanese Natsumatsuri, that's a very fun game that kids and adults play. I don't think there's an equivalent of it like anywhere else. I can't think of any. But what you pretty much do is there's a little pool of little goldfish, and you get this poi, and it's, maybe I could put a picture of it, but it's like a round scooper, and the scoopy part is not made out of a net. It's made out of thin, like almost like tissue paper type of material, and you have to use that to scoop up the goldfish. So when it gets wet and when the goldfish moves on it, it's really easy to break, and once it breaks, that's when you lose the game. So you're trying to scoop as much goldfish into your little bowl as possible before your poi breaks. And it's actually really hard. Like, it sounds really hard, and it is really hard, but I'm actually pretty good at it. Like, I was, when I announced it on my Instagram, I was saying that it was like my weird flex. Like, I could scoop a lot of goldfish when I play that game. So it's one of my favorite things to do at a Matsuri. So it's based off of the, like, goldfish orange in like a sea of blue, just like a goldfish scooping game. And then there's some black speckles because there's some goldfish with black specks in it, and then I just really love that. I think this would knit up. I really want to steal this to make like a cardigan out of. I think that'd be really pretty. But yeah, so this is the first colorway. The second colorway is this. This is Paper Lantern, and it's just this mostly orange and yellow with like a little splash of very dark black blue. And the reason why I made this is because paper lanterns are just a very key part of festival decor, I guess, or like it's just always it's a very significant part of lighting up the festival grounds, you know. And another thing is that there is a festival or a holiday called Obon here in Japan, and that is actually, I believe, next week, but usually people take time off a couple days from work for it, and it's pretty much like if you heard of Dia de los Muertos for Mexican culture, it's kind of like that but Japanese. So you go to your ancestral graves, you clean it up, you set up food for your ancestors, so because it's a time when their spirits come back to greet you. So also in Japan, a lot of people have little shrines within their house set up for their dead relatives. So they clean up the shrine, and then another important thing is that you put up paper lanterns so that when the spirits do come back, they'll be able to find their home. So paper lanterns are a really big part of the Obon time, and there's also an Obon festival where it's like a summer festival but like really big. So it's a very important part of Japanese summertime festival culture. So paper lanterns. This would have really nice like strips or like stripes of this black going into the orange when you knit it up. That would be really cute as socks, I think. And then the last variegated colorway, the new variegated colorway, is this fun, really fun speckled skein, and this is called hanabi, and hanabi is fireworks in Japanese. So as you can see, why I named it that, it's just inspired by fireworks. And fireworks, there's hanabi taikais, which is a fireworks show, and so like during a festival there's usually multiple hanabi taikais that happen over rivers and stuff like that. Those are really pretty if you are near a river and there's a fireworks show above it. You could kind of see like it in the sky and then also reflected on this water, so those are really fun. So I'm really sad that we couldn't see any this year, but it's almost just as good, I think, for yarn. So yeah, this is hanabi. So these are all the variegated skeins that will be, let me see if I can hold it, that'll be available in the shop update. So yeah, and then also I made 2 new tonals to go along with it. So the new tonals, this is Natsuzora. It's blowing out a tiny bit. Oh, here it is. If I hold it up here, it's a bit more color accurate. So this is like a very true sky blue, I want to say. Like this, I've made these 2 tonals based off of what I see when I hang up yarn and I take down yarn. I do that on my veranda out in front of my bedroom. I'm pointing like you know where it is, but it's in the room right across from this one. But this is Natsuzora. Natsuzora means summer sky. Natsu is summer. Sora is sky. So Natsuzora is summer sky. So this is kind of like a clear summer day sky color. I pretty much just stared at my window and tried to match the color to my dye pot. That's how I made this. So this is like a really pretty, just true sky blue. Yeah, it's like a, it's a very, not a basic, I want to say, but like a very, like you gotta have one of these in your, in your dye rotation. I feel like it's just a all around good blue color. And then on the other hand, I have this color, and this is Summer Dusk, and it's this not hot pink and not as, let me see if I have like a sakura. So I do have sakura, which is, I have a mini skein here. This is sakura, and it's a very light pink, and as you can see, it's this one's more darker, a little darker, a lot more pinker and a bit more brighter than sakura. And this one is, this one's inspired by the, I don't know, during the summertime for some reason the dusk and sunset, it just gets more pinker than the winter times, I feel like. And this is, it gets really pink sometimes here when the sun goes down, very pink and purple. It's really pretty. So this is the pinkish part of that dusky time during the summer. So yeah, this is just like a good, not hot pink, but pretty pink kind of tonal, I want to say. So yeah, there's this. So there's these 2. And then I'm also bringing back 2 older colors, which is Tamago and Rust. Because I chose those because I feel like these 4 together just look so cute. It's just a good combo. I don't know. It gets kind of blown out when I bring it forward, but you know what I mean? It's a good quartet? No. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's a good 4 color combo, I feel like, so I just put those 2 together as part of the set. So yeah, so these 4 tonals and then those these 4 tonals and those 4 variegated skeins are all coming into the shop as pre-orders on August 8th, 10 a.m. Japan Standard Time. So if you were interested, feel free to take a look. As you can see, I kind of bring back certain older colorways depending on whether or not they fit the theme. So if you don't want to miss out, I recommend you check it out, but it might come back depending on what the theme will be next time. So yeah, so those are the new colors, but I also have a few other things to show you that'll also be available on the update. So the first one is this skein. I think you might have seen it if you follow Mina over on Knitting Expat. She also has a YouTube podcast, and this is the skein or the colorway Autumn in Tokyo that I made for her Tokyo socks pattern. So she has a sock pattern collection that's been rolling out for a while now called the Around the World in 8 Socks collection. And so she asked me to create the colorway for the Tokyo pattern. So this is it, Autumn in Tokyo. And she was wondering when she contacted me if I could make something kind of inspired by torii gates, Shinto torii gates. And those torii gates, I feel like you've seen it if you've seen a Shinto shrine in Japan, but they're those red, you could put a picture, a red kind of gate. It's not really a gate that you open, it's a gate that kind of goes over the pathway. And that's kind of just the border between the holy ground and then the regular ground, I guess you could say, within a Shinto temple. So those are like this typical, they're usually this bright orangey red color, and they look super pretty during the autumn because there's like the changing leaves and then there's the red gate, and it's just really pretty. So I was thinking about that, so I made this colorway. So yeah, this is called Autumn in Tokyo, and it's just this really it's not as neon. I'm not sure if it looks too really neon on your screen, but it's not super neon, but it is super deep and not bright, but I guess deep is the correct term for it. But it's very it's a very variegated tonal. It's not a tonal, it's not super variegated either, because I'll put a picture of Mina's pattern up here, but her pattern includes a lot of lacy kind of cable-y work, and so we wanted to create a colorway that wouldn't be too busy so that that cable work can be the star of the show for that pattern. So yeah, this is the Autumn in Tokyo colorway. This will also be available as pre-order during the shop update. But yeah, super happy with it, and the pattern looks great with this colorway. So if you don't know Mina, she's super nice. She has a great podcast, so check it out. And yeah, I have that. And then also, one more thing is, I just posted about it today, but I don't have the physical skeins with you because I sent it over to Emily, but I am doing stripy turtle tank sets for pre-order during this next shop update. I'll put a picture of the tanks up here while I talk about it maybe. So there's going to be 3 different ones. There's going to be the retro set, the Forest Walk set, and the Candy Shop set. And those are 3 different sets that me and Emily, the designer of the stripy turtle tank, created or curated because we just thought it'd be really cute. And I love the different vibes that each set gives. I made the retro set, Emily made the Forest Walk set, and Emily's friend is making the Candy Shop set, and they all knit up so good. So I'm really excited for y'all to knit one up for yourself. I knit mine in 3 days. I talk about it in my last episode, I believe, more about it. So check that out if you haven't watched yet. What else? Oh, also, one more thing that will be on the shop update is the Ghibli club. So if you don't know, I do a Ghibli yarn club every month. So if you're a fan of any of the Ghibli movies, I highly recommend you join in on this club. So this will be the 3rd month, I believe. June, July, August. Yeah, so this is the 3rd month, so still a little baby club. But so the August palette is this, Howl's Moving Castle. I've created the colorway already, and let me tell you, I'm stealing those skeins to make myself a cardigan. I love it. I love it so much. It's totally my vibe. So if it's my vibe, might be your vibe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. The sets, or the club, is for sock sets. So you could buy multiple sock sets if you want to make a sweater. But yeah, so they're all sock sets. So that sock sets for August will be up in the shop update. And also, because I'm in Japan and because shipping can be a little tough for a lot of people who live outside of Japan, what I do is I do a 3-month, not a subscription, but a 3-month pre-order set. So, for example, for people who ordered this 3-month set in June, I'll be shipping out June, July, and August all together at the end of this month. So that way they only need to pay for shipping once versus 3 times. So that helps out a lot. So this month in August, I will be making the 3-month pre-order available. So August, September, and October. And those 3 sock sets will all be shipping out together in October, end of October. A lot of people have been asking if they bought the yokai calendar, countdown calendar, because I'm planning on shipping it out at the end of October anyways, if I could combine shipping. And yes, I can. So if you end up buying a bunch of stuff that needs to be shipped out at the end of October, I'd be happy to combine shipping for you. I'll probably combine the shipping and then refund you once it's all shipped out, so that way I know what's what. So if you're wondering about that, there's that option. So yeah, and then for the 3-month, I usually, here's the inspo, kind of what you can expect for the 3-month pre-orders. So August is Howl's Moving Castle, like I said. September is Laputa Castle in the Sky. And October is Mononoke Hime, or Princess Mononoke. So I think I should put something up here. So you can expect those 3 sets to be within that package and sent out to you in October. So that will be fun. I know a lot of people have been really enjoying that option. So if shipping was tough for you, don't worry about it. I try to combine shipping as much as possible, no matter what anyways. So, yeah, I think that is it for shop update stuff. Thanks for, I feel like that was already 30 minutes, I think. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Sorry, this is gonna be a long episode. So, because I have a lot of acquisitions to share with you. And my whips have been kind of like funny lately, and I have a lot to talk about. So, oh my gosh, sorry. This is going to be another long episode. Let me take a coffee break. So, it's just my regular cup. It has a little cat on it. Very cute. Okay. Let's move on to regular podcast content. So, first up, FOs. Have you noticed? So it's what I'm wearing right now. This is the Agave pullover by Orlane Souk. of Tete Beche, and this is the pattern that was in the newest Amirisu Spring Summer magazine. And I talked about this quite a bit in my last episode, so I won't go too far into it. Just like a quick modifications reminder, I guess. Well, let me talk about the yarn. The yarn is so you use two different colors, but I made my stripes really subtle. You could kind of see it on my sleeve, these stripes here. So this main color is Explore Knits and Fibers. Allie's, which one's this one? This Sequoia National Parks colorway. And this is pretty much the only national parks that I've been to. Well, other than Joshua Tree, I guess, but I got married in Joshua Tree National Park, and then the only place I've been to camping is probably like Yosemite and Sequoia. And so I bought Sequoia because it was available in this Japanese online yarn shop. And so the main color is that Sequoia National Park, and then the stripy bits are my own Big Little Yarn Co. In Bramble. And this is just like the regular sock yarn, like superwash merino nylon. I forgot what blend hers is, but I think the Bramble is 75/25. So yeah, it turned out so cute. The sleeves came out perfectly. I wanted it like longer, but not too long. Well, longer for me, like versus 3/4 length. This long sleeve, but not too long. I like to have it hit my wrist bone right here, so it came out perfectly. There are no sleeve decreases in the pattern. You just kind of do a quick decrease right here, and then you just knit the sleeve, the cuff. What else did I do? I did tubular bind offs for all my cuffs, which is my favorite. When it's when I have 1x1 rib, I always do a tubular bind off, so I did that for the neck as well, and the body. So this is a very cropped, for those of you who always watch my episodes, I always talk about how I like things cropped because I like high-waisted pants, and then I like for it to sit like right above my pants. And yeah, they came out perfectly. Honestly, the fit's really nice. I really like the eyelets. It's not super lacy, so it's not see-through or anything, but it still adds like a bit of interest to the pattern, and it's really easy to memorize and do the striping. I would love to make another one with more bolder stripes, but I do really like how subtle the stripes turned out to be. Yeah, in love with it. And I'm able to wear it because I have the AC on right now, but I'm probably going to take it off afterwards because it's way too hot. But I'm super excited to wear it during the autumn. It's a very autumnal kind of sweater. So yeah, super happy with that. I think that's the only FO. So I do have a few whips. So let me start with one that you're probably super tired of me talking about, but I mean, it's a very long-term project, I want to say. So my Marit, so this is the first sleeve I finished. You already know that. Since my last episode, I finished the second sleeve. So I've got 2 sleeves done. And then I've started on the body. It's going, you know, it's kind of a slow going type of project. The ribbing was kind of killer. I hate 1x1 ribbing, and it was with size 1 needles, and it was a lot of stitches, so I'm glad that's over. But yeah, I'm really excited to finish and wear it. It's just really hot, and I don't know, I've realized since the last time we've talked that during the summer I'm okay with knitting, like it's not that big of a deal, but knitting with like very woolly type of fibers kind of make me feel really hot and itchy. So I've been kind of doing one row here and there, but I haven't really been touching this too much just because it's so hot. But I love how the sleeves turned out, and I really want to finish this so I could put them together and do the steek. But yeah, so this is just a bit slow going project, but I wanted to show you that I did stuff. I did stuff since last time, I promise. So yeah, this is pretty much like 2 weeks worth, so it's almost nothing. So yeah, this has been kind of not on the back burner, but if I want to do color work, I end up working on it type of thing. So another project. So after I casted off this one, I cast it on, oh, let me show you the bag, by the way. This is Alex Collins Designs project bag. This was her limited edition print, but it's perfect. It's like the perfect sweater bag. It's very roomy, and I really like the drawstring as well, and it has a little stamp on the back. And she also included the like a postcard print type of thing of this flower, and I have it like right behind you. I don't know if you could see it. No, you can't, but it's right behind you at my desk. So yeah, she also has a podcast episode, or not a podcast, she has a YouTube podcast, and also you should just check out all her lovely project bags, and she has like needle minders and things like that, so check that out. And then in here, this is from a lovely friend, Tiara of the Love Stitch. She also has a YouTube podcast as well, but she made me this project bag like a while ago, and I love it so much. It fits a lot of stuff in here. Well, anyways, so if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen like this Instagram post here. Hopefully it's there. So I cast it on the Bloem cardigan by Marion M. Knits. And I've been eyeing that pattern for quite a while. So, and I knew exactly what I wanted to use. I wanted to use, this is Woolly Mammoth Fiber Co. Emma is a super talented natural dyer, and she's super nice. We talk sometimes, and she makes the most beautiful colored, naturally colored yarn. And I don't know how she does it. She's a magician. And yeah, so this is her limited edition Dorset base, and I have 2 skeins of this. Usually 2 skeins would be enough for even a large sweater quantity. Like, I still had a lot left over from this, but what I didn't realize was that if I knit using more I don't want to say rustic, but more woolly wools, I guess, more woolen spun wools, it uses up a lot more yardage than you think versus something that's superwash. I think it's just because the fibers tend to stick together, you know, like, I don't know what it is. So my yardage estimation was a bit off, I think. So I knit this much of it, and I love the pattern and I love how it's knitting up, but I don't think I'm pretty sure I don't have enough. I have 2 skeins of this. I've been alternating skeins. I'm pretty sure I don't have enough for a cardigan. So I've kind of paused on this, and I think instead I'm gonna make a vest. So I looked on Ravelry for another like vest type of thing, and the thing is, I don't usually wear pink too much. I'm not really a pink person, but when I saw this during the update I got this from, I saw this pink and I was just like, I don't know, it's calling my name. It's a very dusky, not bright pink, and I really love that. So so I got it, and I do really love the color, but I don't think I would wear a pink sweater. Like, that's too pink for me. So like a cardigan, you could wear something darker underneath or a more neutral color and it would kind of offset the pinkness. But if you wore like a pink sweater, it's just the pink sweater unless you put a coat over it. And so I wanted it to be more of like a layering piece, so I thought a vest would be a good idea. So anyways, I went on Ravelry and I found the Alberth slipover by Gregoria Fibers, and I think that would be the perfect pattern switcheroo for this yarn. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and unfortunately frog this, and I did order some more Dorset wool from Emma from her last update, and I bought 3 skeins this time, so I think that should be plenty to make the Bloem cardigan properly this time. So I'm gonna use this pink to make the slip over, and then use the Dorset that I recently bought to make the Bloem again one more time. And I don't mind binding off. I mean, I did do quite a bit, but considering that it's a cardigan, it's not that much. It's only like the upper back I got done pretty much. So yeah, looks like a decent amount, but it's not really. So that's why I know that I probably don't have enough skeins to make it out of this pink yarn. But yeah, so this is kind of on hold for now until I get the new Dorset from Emma, hopefully, which is soon. But yeah, so this is gonna be frogged actually, but I wanted to tell you about it. It's gonna live in here. And one more whip, one more very, very new whip. I'm like not even done with the gauge swatch, so here it is. This is gonna be the Halvis top by, what's her name, Anna Maltz. And it's like a vertical stripy top, and I'm doing the stripes with my own matcha. And then this is Coast to Coast Yarn Co. on her Every Day is Earth Day colorway. I think that'll make really fun stripes. So I'm currently doing the gauge swatch. I don't usually make like such a big one. I know it's not that big, but the top is knit sideways. So since it's knit sideways, the row gauge is super important. And for some reason I cannot get it. Like it calls for a size US 3 needle. And then I forgot the exact amount of stitches for the row, but I looked at it and my row gauge for on a size US 3 is still way too big. So right now, I don't know if you could see these little those little pearl bumps right there. That's where I switched needle sizes. So I'm currently knitting using a size 2, but I'm kind of worried that the size 2 will make the fabric too thick. So I'm not sure how that'll work. I was thinking I was gonna just do the math, you know, if I need to make extra rows or something, or a little less amount of rows, but it's still too big. So yeah, we'll see what the US size 2 needles looks like, and then hopefully I can cast on. And then it's weird because my stitch gauge, so my width is correct but on a size 4, but obviously the size 4 row gauge is too big, so I went down to the size 3. So now my stitch gauge is a little small, but my row gauge is still too big. So I'm probably gonna have to cast on a little extra to make up for the smaller width, but hopefully the row gauge will be correct, and that'll work out because the row gauge is much more important if you're knitting sideways versus the usual up and down. That if you go up and down, you know, you could try it on and figure it out from there, but when it's sideways, it's hard to try on anyways, and also the width is kind of set. Once you cast on, you can't really make it longer or shorter. So yeah, I'm making the gauge a little bigger than the usual. My usual gauge, which is pretty small and minimal, I want to say. But yeah, so we'll see what that happens, but I am really excited about the striping. That's going to be really fun. So yeah, that is my newest whip. This is my, I usually have like a sweater cast on when I'm dyeing yarn. And so this will be my yarn dyeing whip, and then usually these more woolier whips are for my bedtime movie watching whips. So yeah, that's it for work in progress. So my acquisitions, I went a little crazy, just a little. I think this may be my biggest yarn haul, like all at once. Like I bought it, I think I used 2 carts for it, but I checked out only twice and I have this much yarn. I think this is like the biggest haul. So I should preface by saying that I bought this all from one yarn shop. It's called Yarnaholic, and it's a Japan-based yarn shop that carries different hand-dyed yarns from around the world. So non-Japanese dyers. So there's dyers like Coast to Coast, Red Pansy, Ren and Ollie, Life in the Long Grass, all that kind of stuff. So they carry those yarn dyers, and one, it's usually not a pre-order. They do have pre-orders sometimes for certain dyers, but it's usually not a pre-order. And 2, I'm not competing with, like, there's not as much Japanese customers for these people, I guess, like living in Japan. So, you know, when I bought this Sequoia National Park, like usually people are just like going really fast to buy these Explore Knits pre-orders, but when I bought this, like there was still more left because, you know, there's just not as many Japanese customers for Explore Knits here. So when that happens, you know, you could window shop and you could look around, take your time, and I took my time and I came out with a lot of yarn. So when I buy yarn, I usually purchase by sweater quantities. So my sweater quantities are 2 skeins. If it's fingering weight, it's usually 2 skeins. DK weight, I prefer DK weight to be cardigans. I don't know. That's just me. Like when I look at my favorites list on Ravelry, all my DK weight stuff is cardigan patterns, and then my fingering weight is sweater patterns. I don't know, I think that's just like subconsciously that's just what I like. So DK weight, I buy 3 skeins. Fingering weight, I buy 2 unless I have a specific pattern in mind and, you know, I need more or less of certain things. So I'm trying to like explain myself, but so the first cart checkout that I did, oh no, everything fell. Okay. So the first cart checkout, so this all started because I saw that Life in the Long Grass was coming into that shop, the Yarnaholic shop, and I'm a big fan of Life in the Long Grass. And I don't know, before I wanted to buy it, but I think before I was able to support myself with my business, it was just really hard to kind of purchase yarn when I lived in LA. Like, the cost of rent was higher, you know, everything was more expensive, and I just didn't have the means to purchase yarn. But here, you know, I own my own house, I dye yarn for a living, like I just have more means to purchase the things that I want, and which is really nice. And this, all that is to say that you don't have to buy, you know, I lived without buying all these hand-dyed yarns for, I think it's gonna be 10 years of knitting next year, but you really don't need hand-dyed yarns to knit pretty things. Like, I didn't, the only reason why I know how to dye yarn is because I had to do it myself because I couldn't afford it. And places like Knit Picks and Joann's and things like that, you know, that's totally fine, and you can make beautiful garments with things that are more your budget, and that's totally okay. And you know, when I didn't have the means to purchase this type of stuff, like, I think I was pretty happy, and I would still be happy without any of this, I want to say. But also at the same time, buying pretty yarn is, people joke that it's like a whole nother hobby, and it's totally true. Like, I totally get it now that, you know, buying hand-dyed yarn for yourself is just like another aspect of knitting that can also be fun and can be as much as you want it to be and not as much as you want it to be at the same time. Like, you don't it doesn't have to be such a huge thing. So anyways, I just want to say that you really don't need any of this, and I really don't need any of this, but I find a lot of joy in purchasing hand-dyed yarns. So anyways, that is to say, I bought some Life in the Long Grass. So this was in the shop, and I fell in love with these speckles. Like, look at that. How can you not fall in love with that? And since I'm a yarn dyer, I personally try to find hand-dyed yarns where I'm like, I don't know how you did it. Like, I don't know. I can't figure out what your recipe is. Like, I don't know how you did it. So yeah, that's my kind of, I don't know, standard, I guess, when I buy yarn. And, you know, every single yarn dyer dyes yarn differently, and I'm sure me thinking that I know how they did it is probably not how they did it. I don't know, that's just what I use to justify to myself that I don't need to make my own recipes. So this is my first purchase, Life in the Long Grass. So this is their DK weight, their DK twist, 100% superwash merino in the weathered colorway. And I am planning to make a flanelle cardigan by Orlane Souk. As you can tell, I love Orlane's designs. Like, I think how she constructs her patterns, it just fits my body type very well. And so yeah, that's going to be a flanelle cardigan. So after this, I bought this and I was like, okay, I'm good. But then the Yarnaholic shop sent out a newsletter email saying that there was going to be a little sale going on for certain yarn dyers in the shop. So I was like, I have to. So I bought some. I do have plans for all of these. I have them all in my queue. I usually queue them up with the yarn kind of in the notes section so I know what I want to do with them. And obviously those aren't concrete, but yeah, so I know what I'm going to do with all of them, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, first one I bought is this beautiful Eden Cottage yarns. This is my first time with the Eden Cottage yarns, and it is this beautiful green blue color. Kind of blows out when I bring it close, I think. It's not as bright as it looks. It's probably more accurate back here. It's like a moody blue-green. It's 100% superwash extra fine merino wool. Fingering weight in their colorway Kraken. And I love this color. I love it. I love a good blue-green. Gets me every time. I love green. Green's my favorite. And then, so I got two positive E's, two colorways of positive E's. So these are all sweater quantities for me. First one is Spicy Mix. So this is positive E's. Spicy Mix. So good. Kind of reminds me of my own patina colorway almost, but more grungy, I want to say, more moody. I love that. So it's like a warm gray with a bunch of like burnt orange speckles. Yeah, that'll be really cute. Really excited for that. And then another positive E's. Ugh, just reaching over, sorry. Another positive E's is this Viking colorway. So it's a very dark, almost purplish gray, and it's got speckles as well. Very nice. So this is the two compared together. They look kind of similar on screen, and I guess I have a type, you know. It's funny because once I bought all of these colorways, I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally have a type. But yeah, so this is like the dark gray sister to this lighter gray. They look really good together actually, now that I look at it. But yeah, so got another sweater quantity of that. I told you I got a lot. And the last one is another two skeins of Coast to Coast. I want all of Erin's colorways. Like seriously, it's so hard to choose when I'm trying to purchase yarn, but this is one of the colorways that I saw like the very first time when I first followed her, like I want to say like a few years ago, like before I even started dyeing yarn myself, maybe. I saw this colorway and I was like, ooh, that's pretty. And back then I couldn't afford it, but now I can, so it feels really good. This is her Woodpile colorway, and it is so pretty. It's this grungy gray purple, and you could tell it's a bit more purple than gray. There's like splashes of purple, as you can see, and also lots of speckles going on. Oh, it's so pretty. So yeah, sweater quantity of this. Yeah, so let me show you the colors all together because I totally have a type. I mean, do I have a type or do I have a type? So I think my type, I want to say, are grungy, dark purples, blues, and greens. I'm down with that. I'm fine with that. So yeah, I have plans for all of these. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but obviously I'll tell you all about it. Tell you all about it when I start casting on. So yeah, I think that's it. That's finally it. It's probably another long episode. Thank you for sticking around. Oh, also, for reading, I've been in a reading slump lately. I didn't even finish my last. I'm in charge of the there's a Big Little book club over on Discord. Link will be down below. August's book will be The Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz, I believe is his name. I read it a long time ago, but I don't remember what it's about, so I'm really excited to try to get back into reading with this one because I remember I enjoyed it. I just don't remember why. So yeah, if you want to join us for August's book club, yeah, link will be down below. No pressure in posting at all. You could just read other people's comments. There's also an area where you could talk about your whips and your FOs, and it's just a place to just hang out, you know, and talk about books and knitting / crocheting or crafting, whatever is your jam. So yeah, that, again, link will be below. That was a long one. There's a lot of yarn, but I love it. I think it feels weird if I don't touch yarn at least once during the day. Like, I think I've touched yarn every single day for about a year now, and I'm totally okay with that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Let me know, if you've stuck around this far, let me know. Well, let me know what you've been working on. What's your whip? Are you enjoying it? Are you having trouble with it? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.